Hi. In answer to your questions, a lot of people have asked, where did the influence come from? How did the style of playing come about? Well, I would think in 1962, Alvin and I went to Germany, Hamburg, in fact, and played the Star Club. Hamburg was a seaport town, a very rough town. I guess 15 years after World War II, very few people spoke English. The Star Club was actually on the Grosse Freiheit, which is the bottom end of the Reeperbahn. And the Reeperbahn in Hamburg, in St. Pauli, for those of you that don't know, is the red light district. So down there, what you've got is pop stars, pet pills, prostitutes, and gangsters. And that was Alvin and I, 17 and 18 years old, and our drummer Pete Evans, 22 years old, first time out of the UK, and there we were, right in the middle of it. In fact, the flat we stayed in was across from the Star Club, one floor up above a ladies' mud wrestling bar. My schoolboy German came in very handy. You'd be surprised, otherwise we would have gone nowhere. The apartment, as I said, or room above the ladies' mud wrestling bar was not much of a respite, because there were bunk beds in the room. There were two rooms. In our room there were 4 bunk beds with 3 of us in it, occasionally one more person. And in the other room, God knows, it was king-size tailor. And I think maybe there were 7 or 8 of them in bunk beds there. So, if you spent too long in the toilet, somebody would fire a gas gun under the door. It was one of those places. So you couldn't really get away for anything. But it's all in my book. If I ever finish it, you can read it. But after the first couple of days of all that madness, I personally got, and lots of us did, got so fed up with it. We looked for somewhere to get away, and there was one place you could go, and that was down by the docks, and it was called the Seamen's Mission. Not the Seamen's E-Mission, but the Seamen's Mission. It was for sailors, and they had a snooker table there, which was something I like to go down there and play snooker. And you could get a cup of coffee and a sandwich, and I periodically got away from that, from the madness of just that 24 hours a day being stuck in the middle of the thing. But those were the formative years, as I say. We learned to jam, we learned to extend the songs out, turn a 3-minute song into a 10-minute song with different solos and changes of tempo and one thing's another. So by the time Rick and Chick joined us 4 years later, and we became 10 years after, we'd already formulated a style. Without Hamburg, we would not have been able to achieve what we did. We went to Hamburg very naive and came back with our own style of playing, if you like, for better or for worse. Love it or hate it, that made 10 years after. Definitely did. The owner of the Star Club, or the manager of the Star Club, the owner, Manfred Weisleder, and his assistant, or Horst Fascher, were very well known in the St. Pauli area, and respected or feared. And we were all given these badges, Star Club badges, so that wherever we went in that area, you could go in any bar, any club, any sex dive, wherever you wanted to go. People left you alone. You didn't have to buy a beer. Nobody tried to force you to do anything. And it was a privileged thing, really. When we took the job as a 3-piece, we were told we had to have an extra guitar player. So we picked up this guy, Kostas, from London, and he came over with us. He only lasted with us a day, though, because you've got to remember, Hamburg in that time, very few people spoke English. And one of Kostas' things was to swear over the microphone. And I think the first or second night he was there, he had a rubber Mickey Mouse mask on, and he walked up to the microphone and he shouted, F off, to the audience, and touched the microphone and was electrocuted, and it knocked him unconscious over the back of the amplifiers. And nothing was said, but whether he voluntarily left Hamburg, or whether Horst Fascher or Manfred Weisleder persuaded him to leave, I don't know. But he never said a word to us after that, and I've never seen him since. But there you go. But it's all fun, isn't it? You know, and there are many, many other stories I could tell, but that'll have to be in my book. Okay.